Hi, my name is Krista Vandenbosch. I will be presenting the Sports and Stats project today. This project is designated for 4th and 5th grade math students. We will be focusing on developing a few key skills outlined in the framework designed by the Partnership for 21st Century Skills. The inspiration for this project comes from a common conversation heard in many math classrooms. As students get older and math becomes more rigorous, we see more students becoming less engaged. Frustration builds, tears are shed, and just as we were approaching the gateway to higher education, we see our students falling out of love with math. Cries of, "When will I ever use this?" and "I hate math," replace the excitement for math we see in younger grades. Well, the excitement is back. With the enthusiasm of fantasy football and the real-life application of math already built in, we can help our students rediscover how challenging and fun math can be. One of the key 21st century skills we will focus on is problem solving. Students will be asked to analyze data and make decisions based on their observations and predictions. They will develop their own strategies and have the opportunity to test them. Students will also learn to problem solve as they navigate their way through new technology and large amounts of data. Another skill this project will focus on is technology. Students will be asked to use various forms of technology to gather and share information. We will have the opportunity to focus on discriminating reliable and unreliable sources and the most effective means of communicating online in a safe environment. The last skill we will emphasize is communication. Being able to effectively express your ideas in math, just like life, is an essential component to success. Having confidence, resilience, and the grit to keep trying only comes with a lot of practice in a safe and challenging environment. So are you ready for some football? For this project, students will participate in a class fantasy football league. After a beginner's course in football basics, students will work in pairs to create their fantasy football team and choose their weekly starting lineup. During the competition, teams will compete against another group's fantasy football team. Each week, students will go online to gather their players' stats from a trusted source like NFL.com or the NewYorkTimes.com. Once they have gathered their data, they will work with their partner to calculate their team's score in a spreadsheet to determine which group's team won. Students will then post their scores on the classroom leaderboard on Google Docs and begin preparing their strategy for the next week. This simple and more controlled version of the traditional fantasy football allows students to focus on the inherent math concepts presented. This format also allows for teachers to have the option of extending the mathematics. Some options include using more complex algorithms to calculate team points or having students calculate and chart averages. Fantasy football can run anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks. We will take a little time out of each week and continue throughout the football season. This will encourage students to analyze their data and make predictions on future events. While practicing data collection and applying their strategies, students will begin to discover trends in data and develop strategies for choosing their players. These skills will help students build their problem-solving and critical thinking skills. Students will also advance their skills in technology as they become more efficient with navigating Google Docs, spreadsheets, and accessing online resources to collect data. As a long-term goal or extension to this lesson, I would have students focus on one trend in their data that affected their strategy to showcase as a final project. Allowing students to wrestle with a complex idea of how different parts work in a system and coaching them in articulating their ideas is a very important life skill. Preparing our students for the 21st century with continuous exposure to exciting math that is relevant to their interests is one step closer to nurturing lifelong learners.